Hi everyone, I'm Jan from Pins and Needles in Cleveland, Ohio and sewItonline.com. So what I've been asked to do today is to give an overview of this machine and to explain what the difference is. Now what I consider this for is for someone who's a quilter, a sewer, an all-around sewer, okay? That means we do just about anything that we like to do. So it's heavy enough for me to do my cushions. I like to do drapes and home decorating. That's still my fun. But I also will fix a bridal gown or do whatever I want to do. This machine is perfect for the consumer that wants a little bit of it, wants to do embroidery, wants to do sewing, and doesn't want to not be able to do everything that turns around the corner. Now I've done videos on embroidery, so just know that all of this size stuff in all of this and all this quilting and being able to quilt your own quilt is done on an embroidery unit. So even here, we made this little purse. All I did was do it. Isn't that cute? I just think this is really special. So even the zippers are sewn in the hoop. So now before you get nervous, all the classes are virtually available to you on sewItonline.com. However, we also teach in the store. So if you're anywhere around Cleveland, I want you in here because we can do a lot more. But virtually, I have everything on there to be able to do that. Isn't that cute with the lining? I just think it came out so pretty. So I could go on and on and on about embroidery, but today what I'm after is show you the sewing machine. So I'm going to turn off the sewing machine and reach underneath here, and I'm going to take off the embroidery unit. Now what the joy is you don't have to have two machines. You only have one machine and you got it all. So for some people who have space problems, this is the very best thing to do. Watch, I'm just going to turn it on and it's going to come up and it's going to do automatic sewing because I have the sewing function on. This comes with all kinds of presser feet in there. Isn't that impressive? And all the other goodies come. So there's nothing you have to buy for this machine. It comes with it. The package is absolutely phenomenal. So again, what I'm setting up now is a sewing machine function. So why would you want this machine? I'm going to show you one that's half of this machine in just a couple of minutes. This will only be a few minute video to be able to show, and I'll be able to compare to you what the difference is. This particular machine is a sewing machine, meaning it does all of these stitches. Plus, I put the embroidery unit on and I have a complete embroidery machine with a 6 by 10 inch hoop. So anything in embroidery can be done on here. There isn't going to be a design pack that you want to buy that you aren't going to be able to do if you start with 6 by 10. I have a lot of embroidery machines in the store that are 5 by 7 and 4 by 4. This is mid-range. It's a wonderful price point. It's regular $69. It's on sale for $34.99. For $34.99, and there's financing available to you at no interest. So that'll be a fun thing. Let me show you the sewing part. That's really all my job is to do. One of my favorite things, if you haven't seen this with me, is I'm going to thread it in front of you so that people who are just plain sewing, I want you to understand how simple things are right now. Now watch me, I'm always teaching. You push this and I'm going to pull this thread through. You should do that on all your sewing machines. If you take our course on how to clean a sewing machine, this little spool of thread has to go in the garbage. You can put it for the bird's nest, you can do whatever you want to, but I want you to thread the machine. We're going to come through here. This isn't a usage class. I'll go much slower when we teach you in usage. But do you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Bring it over here. And my favorite function, if you're buying a new machine, think about this. Watch. I come down and I threaded the machine. Every single time it works. So then watch this. I'm going to put this bobbin in a machine. Now I can give you these features for way under $1,000. Not embroidery. Okay, but I'm talking about the sewing features. And I'll show you that machine in a few minutes. Now watch here real close, because all I do is put the bobbin in. It's a drop-in full rotary metal hook bobbin. Now what that means is that I can go through any layer of fabric I want to. So what I like about this machine is there's really 7 There's really 3 major quality features that you need to buy on a sewing machine. And there's 7 major features, stitch-wise, you need to have on a sewing machine. And this one has it all, plus embroidery. I still can't believe they're selling it at this price. It's a tremendous buy. Now look here. All I'm doing is there's a little arrow here. So you're used to clicking it into a bobbin. But I'm going to bring it over here, follow the arrow, and click it off. Now the greatest thing is I don't have to bring up my bobbin thread. I don't have to hold my thread to the back. I don't have to turn my hand wheel. Everything is set up for me for perfect success, and it works every single time. You get spoiled. Watch this. Look how much fabric I can get underneath there. Now, look how much fabric I can get underneath there. How many times have you tried to go over that flat felt seam and had issues? You're not going to have that problem no more. The machine is going to adjust with its universal pressure to go right up over it. I'll teach you in your usage classes, see this little black button there? We're going to teach it how to hump over that fabric so you never have a worry. I'm only allowed to do just the basics with you today because we are limited in time, but I want to show you my favorite functions. So what I'm going to do is you're going to reach up here and you're going to have all these issues, but watch what I'm doing. I'm going to put the presser foot down. I can either push this button or I can push the foot control. I don't even have to use the foot control anymore. That will tell me that if I unplug the foot control, but watch this. I'm going to sew along. Oh, I got to go fast. Sorry, I can't sew slow. I'm going to reverse. I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to cut my, oops, sorry, I meant to do this. I wanted to cut my threads. Now I can lift up my presser foot. Now watch. So it cut my threads for me. I'm going to put my fabric back in. I'm going to start off, and I can go and I can reverse. Just watch. I'm reversing. I'm coming forward. I can reach, and I can cut my threads, and I can lift my presser foot for me. It buried that thread to the bottom. Wait till I teach you free motion. Holy crap, does that make life wonderful? So I got the chance to do that. Now let me show you. This is what's important. So I'm going to go back down. I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to reach up, cut my threads. This one's going to lift my presser foot. Do you see how your hands are on your work? Now wait, here's the coolest thing. Now I'm going to go over to my machine. And I hope you can see this, but I got a lever here that I can push to tell it to, when I push reverse, to cut my thread and to lift the presser foot up. So now what I'm going to do is start sewing. It automatically reversed. Notice no puckers. Now watch. I'm going to get to the end. Oh, now watch. Do you see that? Now watch this part. I take it apart. I put it here. Put my presser foot down. And it will reverse. Never a pucker on reverse. That's diamond feed dogs. You have to have that. Now go here. So I'm telling it to stop. It's reversing. It's going to cut my thread and lift it up. I'm not having to hold my threads. I'm not having to turn my hand wheel. I'm not having to do anything. And you got absolutely perfect stitching every single time with no puckers. So that function right there with the needle threader, I can get you at $900. The Brilliant, different machines have got that. I would suggest that that be something that you really think about. This one here, being able to get the presser foot to go up higher so I can go right through the denim. You can watch here. I just got some denim. We know what a pain that is, and we know we all have to do it. You see, and this is a heavy denim. It's not any cheap stuff. I use some really stuff, and I don't have a denim needle in or anything, but I can walk up. Now look, I got 2 layers. Do you see? Now I'm going to go 4 layers, and I'm going to go 6 layers. This is a quality sewing machine. So if you're looking for a sewing machine that's got quality with it as well as the goodies, then you want to go into a value of the ones I'm talking about. There's a lot of sewing machines on the market that got 140 stitches that are a piece of junk. And they are not high quality. They're not individual components. I've done this for a long time. It's amazing, but it's true in any appliance at all. Nowadays, we buy, there's things that people buy, and a year or 2 later, they replace it. But I think that us sewers, we're used to buying a sewing machine and having it for 20 years. I can promise you that kind of result out of a sewing machine like this. So watch going over this. I'm just going to stitch. I'm going to slow down. I even have a slow speed. In case you're teaching a youngster, that's a nice feature. But I can go right over that lever, right over it, look at it, and guess what? I can go through it slow. How many times have you on your sewing machine got up over that lever and you had to go 100 miles an hour to get up over it before your needle broke? Not going to have to do it anymore. So I can reverse, I can take it, let it cut its thread, and it will again lift my presser foot for me. And I just went through 2, 4, 6, 8 layers of denim. Pretty nice. So now the other thing is that's nice is diamond feed dogs are new on machines. So you certainly want that. But do you see how I'm doing the dainty work on a silk? And look at the gorgeous hem stitching. That's what all this is about. And I have a class online that's called maybe 101 or something like that. But anyways, it goes through every one of these stitches. And it teaches you how to work with them, how to do corded buttonholes, how to sew buttons on, how to sew snaps on. Make sure you take that class because this machine is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful head that gives you everything you'd want. To spend more money, okay, so say, okay, so we're talking $34.99 here. To go up to $5,000, I'm going to get a bigger hoop. To go $10,000, I'm going to get a bigger hoop. I'm going to get bigger, but the quality inside is very, very, very similar. Do you see what I mean? So I'm going to be able to go through any fabric I want. I'm going to be able to do embroidery, and it just does a whole lot of fun things. The last thing I want to show you is let's pretend you're doing a whole quilt. Now I'll show you that on here, I use the embroidery part of the machine to be able to hoop it and go around and do my stippling. We will be teaching you how to do free motion stippling also, where you move the material around. But there's sometimes you got this big old quilt in here, okay? So this is going to outshine what this machine does, is that, well, I guess I didn't show you the screen at all. Sorry, I talked too much. Okay, so here's your screen. So I can just take it, and I got all these decorative stitches in the machine. The whole fun is that all I have to do is to go in and say, okay, I want my overcasting stitches. I want that stitch. It's ready to go. It tells you what presser foot to use. It tells you exactly how to set it up. Do you notice, remember where I told you how it will cut the threads? Every single time it does it for me. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful feature. But this is the trick. Look, let's go to number 5. I'm going to blow your mind here. Now this is going to eliminate us being a little bit more up to this price point. So this added from the machine I'm going to show you in a minute, that's $8.99. This is added the embroidery, added directional feed, added more features, okay? So, but of course, difference in money. But I want to show you this. What I can do is put my presser foot down. Let's imagine you have a quilt and you want to sew around the square of that 8-inch square to attach between the batting and the backing and everything. All I have to do is say, which way do I want to go? So I'm going to push this button. I'm going to push my presser foot. The machine sews sideways. Do you get it? It sews sideways. Now, how many times have you wanted to use your open arm and go around a patch? To be able to put something right here, like a patch on a sleeve or patch here. You can now sew sideways. So now I want to come forward, so I'm just going to come forward. See? So pretend I have a big quilt in there. You would have been turning the quilt to get to turn it, right? All I have to do is push this button and it will now sew to the right. What's really cool when I get you in your classes is that we're going to be teaching you how to take all these decorative stitches and incorporate it to be able to do so much stitching, do a decorative stitch, so much stitching to do a decorative stitch. What I love about this machine is that it gives me all the quilting stitches. Directional feed, what I just showed you, is very important to me. I use that a whole lot. I love it that I call it almost the baby of the top of the line for embroidery. Of course, we can go up to $15,000, and you can keep adding and adding and adding. If you want a bigger hoop, we're going to go up to the Altair. It's going to be just about double, and it's got a lot of features on it. But this is for the person that wants a little bit of everything at a very, very, very accommodating price that's going to do the job for you on whatever you ever decide to do. So this is, again, this is called the 3600D. It's they've just discounted it. I've never sold it this low at $34.99. So a full 6 by 10 inch hoop. And all the features that this thing has, you cannot beat it. But please go and take our classes. One way or the other, make sure you're going to commit yourself to a year of learning what all the cool things that it does. So it'll be a really, really, really fun thing. Now I'm going to bring up another machine now that is one step down from this. So let's say you just don't like embroidery. If you have seen this stuff and you're saying, that's not me, I don't want to do that, which I like to educate people and say, okay, this is what it is. And show them samples of what you can do, all right? And then if it's for you, you're going to know it. But if you're saying to yourself right now, I don't think I'd ever use that. I don't want to monogram nothing. I don't want to put my name on anything, or I'm not a gift giver. I usually tell people, if you're a gift giver where you're always buying something for somebody, you're going to love an embroidery machine. But let's say that that's not of your interest. I'm going to change over now to just a machine that's going to be the exact same size of this, the exact same quality of it, and eliminate the embroidery and explain the difference. I'll be right back. So this is another one of my favorite, but this person, I'm always trying to figure out what's best machine for people. This is for someone that has had a machine and maybe they're sewing or they're just beginning to get going. You want to buy a machine and you want to have growth room with it. This does not do embroidery. It does decorative stitches, what they call embroidery, but that means the feed dogs are moving it through. We do a lot with those decorative stitches and in our classes. So you will learn what candle wicking is and faggoting is and all this fun stuff and be able to use all the feet that come with it. But this is what's so great about the Brilliant. Number one, it's on sale for $899. It's a fabulous buy for that machine when you compare them with everything else that's out there. Now, I've already showed you how to thread it. I've already showed you the automatic needle threader. I've already showed you how to put the bobbin in, that it does it automatically. And I've gone through these buttons where it sews and it stops and it cuts and all that sort of stuff, okay? So those are all the same as the machine that I just showed you that adds embroidery. Look at the open here. Do you see how much bigger this is than your machine? Most of the older machines stopped here. So they've given us an 8-inch berth here for us to be able to put our quilts through and everything. That really makes it nice. So that's one thing that's awesome. The other thing is it gives me all the stitches that you would need for everyday sewing. Again, candle wicking, all the fun stuff. It's a very, very, very simple machine to do. It still can go up through the heavy, heavy, heavy fabrics. It comes with all the presser feet that are all right in here. And then this comes off so that you can use the open arm. We will be teaching you in our classes how to do free motion, which means you're flying around, does it automatically, sets the tensions for you. You'll never have to adjust the tension dial. You'll be able to go from 2 layers to 4 layers to 6 layers without ever having to make any adjustments whatsoever. One of the other cool things that I really like about this machine is I can use a variety of threads. There's so many threads out there. Before we would just use a 50 weight thread and you never knew any different. Well, guess what? We have 90 weight thread, we have 10 weight thread. So what all that thing does gives us the look of, did you ever do any crewel work or anybody see any cross stitching or hand embroidery? Now we can duplicate on a machine like that. Now why can I do that? Because I have a full rotary metal hook. That's quality. I have solid state electronics, means I can go from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 layers and back to 2 without fighting. I also have universal pressure, meaning I can go up and I can go down, and it's going to adjust on its own. So it's going to take that heavier seam, whether you're doing free motion on quilting or if you're doing over your denim, it's just a dream machine. I love it so much because of the needle threader. I love it that it cuts the threads for me as I go. You get real spoiled really, really, really fast. Again, the classes are available on sewitonline.com or in the Pins and Needles stores in Cleveland, Ohio. They're free to you. We have put a lot of energy and a lot of mileage time in that to be able to make sure that you will learn to love the machine that you end up purchasing. If you decide you need someone to talk to, you can call me. I'm Jan. You can call any one of my staff. We will go through and talk things over to you about what machine you already own, what you're looking for on a machine, and help you figure out what exactly ones you want. So this one, the Brilliant for $8.99, is unsurpassed. It's one of those that we have not been able to get, and they are in stock now. The 3600 that I just showed you that's full of embroidery, oh boy, treat yourself, have some fun, get yourself a new machine, and I think your love for sewing will reinvent itself. Take the classes from us. Again, they're at sewitonline.com. We will directly sign you up for them. Let's see. You can click below, and I can respond to you. One of the girls, somebody will respond to you by email if you want to. You can call. You can talk to any one of us. We'll help you explain, help you understand, help you figure out what machine you have and what's the best machine in your price point. There's financing available now. You can go to sewitonline.com and sign for it up right there and get approved, and you're all set. So they've made it really, really easy again. So at sewitonline.com, again, there's lots of videos on there. We have memberships. We have people that do all kinds of videos for us to keep you sewing. So it's just kind of like what we do in a store, now being done virtually, and we're going to make sure you're a part of it all. You have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to call. I know what a big decision this is for us sewers, but I'm telling you, you'll love the Brilliant. But you might, if you want embroidery, that $3,600 is a steal. Hope to see you again soon.